Okay, welcome to section 2 where we are going to analyze your credit report. So, in day 1, you printed out your credit report. You've probably looked over it. Many of the things on there, if you haven't taken time to look over it, may look familiar. You may have figured it out or you may not have. So, I'm going to go through a couple of examples here. The first one is the Experian credit report. And whether it's the Experian credit report, TransUnion credit report, which is this is a sample TransUnion report, or in this case an Equifax, all three of them will have similar, or if you get a 3-in-1 credit score, which is what I recommend that you get, all three of them will have the same breakdown. Remember, the first section is going to be your identity information. In this part of your credit history, you'll find personal information. All right, you're including your name, other names you've used in the past, or your current or past addresses, your social security number, date of birth, names of current and past employers. So let's scroll down here, and in this case, on the Experian report, has the name, year of birth, address if there's one. There may be other addresses, the current employer and previous employers. Um, if we look at the TransUnion, it has the same information. Notice the subscriber information. This all depends on where you get your credit report from. But either way, the template itself will always be the same. The first section is your identity information. Therefore, it's important on that first section to verify that all of this information is correct. If you see an address that's not on there, if you see a social security number that is wrong, any of these areas, you must immediately contact that crediting agency, that TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, or all three of them in certain cases, and dispute that information immediately. You need to get this cleared up. Okay, so if you find any of this information incorrect, then what you need to do is write a letter to fix that. And I will go through a quick example. Go over here to your destroyyourdebt.org where you were the home page. Go up into here to resources. Click the link into resources. And notice there's spreadsheets and Word documents here. These are all example letters and things that you can use. So what we want to do is first open up an inaccurate item on my credit report. So let's click this and we are going to open it. And once the document is open, it is just a template for you to follow. And if you don't like certain information on there, you can take it off or so forth. But what we'll do is I'll go through a quick example and I'll copy and paste so I don't take too much time. Up here where it says date, your name, your address, zip code, credit bureau, bureau address, city, state, and zip code. Well, immediately we will pull that information and you will then replace that information, for example, like that. Okay, then we need the bureau's address and zip code and so forth, and that I got right off the website. In this case, I'm going to copy and paste that in there, and then take out the information that was included. So highlight it and delete it. Now what we've hit is Dear Credit Bureau. Well, what credit bureau are we talking to? Well, this is uh, TransUnion. Now, when we're done and we use one for Equifax, and all we'll do is replace TransUnion with Equifax and so forth. I've just reviewed, and let's put this to spread it out. I've just reviewed my credit report. I've noticed there's several inaccuracies on my report. Well, in this case, these were account numbers on here. So I don't have any of these account numbers. So I'm going to take that out of there, and I'm going to put in the information that I found that was incorrect on my credit report. Okay, and just for time's sakes, I've copied and pasted from another document. In this case, I've reviewed my credit report. I've noticed several inaccuracies. My name and identification was incorrect. My social security number is not my correct number. My social security number is this number. Okay. The also known as section or name section is John Smoth and J.S. Smith. They are incorrect. His name is John Smith. His middle initial is D in this case. So this is another one. Also, a Chase student loan account with whatever the account number. It's a little bit further. We can put this all onto one dispute, or we can write different letters. I prefer right away to put it into one dispute. If it's not a lot of information that's disputed, if there's a lot of information, then make separate sheets for those in each one of those inaccuracies. And the reason that I say that is because you may need to include other information in the mailing that would be pertinent. For example, the student loans case. This has never been late. Um, the loans were in deferment, so you may want to show proof that they were in deferment, or you can contact, in this case, Chase for their student loans, or you can bring in all three credit reporting scores and show that on the other two scores it was not marked 30 days late, so there may be a slight error. This will help out whomever is doing this to check the information. Now in this, I've enclosed a copy of my driver's license as a proof of identity, and make sure you check this over for spelling errors. Okay, in this case we changed the spelling error that was on there, and make sure all of this information is correct. Now one mistake that many of my students make, and myself included, is we don't proofread things out loud after we wrote them. So it's important to reread this letter out loud, have someone else reread the letter out loud if you're not embarrassed, if they already know. Um, but make sure other people look at this information. Then you're going to finish this off sincerely, your signature, your name. Um, Obviously here on the signature, we're just going to replace that with an underline that you would sign. Spread this out. I didn't want that to happen. And go into and then type out your name itself, in this case John Smith, your social security, and then whatever attachment is included, if you include any type of attachment. So each one of these, now, okay, let's say it's on all three credit reports. Well, not a big deal, right? Because all we have to do then is change TransUnion and their address to Experian. All right, and then change, obviously, make sure you change everything. Okay, and that therefore you would then change this information as well. This one is in Chicago. If we changed it here to Experian, okay, that's in Schaumburg. Notice both of these are in Illinois. Isn't that convenient for us people in Illinois? At least we can go pay them a visit, for those of you who are working in Illinois or out in Schaumburg, to Experian. Now, one quick question. Well, first of all, where do I find the addresses? The addresses are on the mailing sheet that is on our website itself. There are mailing examples. What I've done also is a search of Experian, because I show you in the next day, and the next lesson we'll do disputes, and when we do those disputes we can do those online. So right here, mailing instructions, if you download that, that will have the addresses to all three of the mailing addresses of the credit bureaus. Also, you can go and do a search itself on Experian dispute or TransUnion or so forth, and here it pulls up this information, and we can dispute the credit on Experian. Well, Experian's website itself, which it'll take us to. And when we go here, we'll go a little later on to how to do an online dispute, as long as you have your credit information. But down here where it says contact us, we can open up that information here, and it'll show the contact information with the addresses there. You can do that for TransUnion. You can do that for Equifax as well. So let's move back to the letter. Now we wanted to change this around, and my suggestion to you is make sure you print out 3 copies of for each credit agency. Make sure you change the information, and copies for yourself as well. And then when changing it, it's probably smart to save the document as the inaccurate items for Experian. Save it again after you've changed it to each one of them. Okay, so there's an example of how to change one of the inaccurate items. We have several of the letters listed, and to help you to change something that's on your credit report itself. Okay, well, that is the section for today. Go through, find anything in this area. This is a very easy area because we're only looking for information that may not be correct and something here that's inaccurate. This is not, we have not gotten into inquiries or disputes, but we're looking for disparities or information in that case, and we'll look into doing a dispute sample a little bit later. But remember that each one of your credit report information, the first section is your subscriber information, identity. Second will be the account information, which we'll go a little bit more in detail next. And we'll move forward after account information to inquiries and then public records. So hope to see you on the next lesson.